Hey guys, how is it going? It's Dmitry here. Today we're going to talk about another really important topic in JavaScript. It's called scope. And as probably you already remember, I previously discussed about scopes vaguely. And just remember, like basically, in JavaScript we have like so-called local scopes and global ones. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today in this tutorial. Alright, first I would like to run this command, and guys, I already prepared code here because the topic itself it's a bit tricky and I don't want to waste yours and my time on writing this code from scratch, which is you already know how to write it anyway, but I just would like to explain the tricky part. Okay guys, you can see here I basically define variables with the same namings but different values. So, and also probably before I told you once, when you use the keyword var, it means this variable is going to be global one, and essentially I assign the value of this variable as a global, right? Now the value of this variable, yeah, it's global. So essentially all like the whole file you can treat it as a global thing, right? But here, for instance, inside of the if statement, I'm talking about the first one from the line 6 till line 13, sorry. We have this subspace, right? Or local space, I would say. So, and I'm also defining another variable with the same name, and I call it, and I use the keyword let. And remember guys, the keyword let is just saying, or it's just telling you that it's more like a local, it's defining it for local one, like part, instead of a global one. So, and it is important to understand like that everything inside of this body, if body, this variable essentially is going to have value local, right, instead of the global. So, and that's why you can see here when I say local, right, and this variable has the value local, right? So, and if we move on, just go below, right? We have another if statement, right? It's a substate of the whole if statement, right? Or of the whole if body. So now also define another variable here, right, with the same name. But the value of this variable is different, right? The value that was assigned, I called it another local. So, and also you can see like the definition is different, right? I'm still using let, but it's essentially it's another variable, right? And it's defined specifically for this place, right? For space inside of another if body. So, and what about the if body from the line 18 to 20? So essentially the value of this variable is going to be the same as the value of the global variable, because we're not defining any like variables here locally, and that's why the program is just going to go up and to the line 2, and the program will find where the actual variable was defined and the value was assigned, right? And that's why you can see like the separated local, which is I define in the console.log, it has value global, right? Which is exactly the value, what the value of the variable, like this variable, right? That was defined globally. Okay guys, but I would like to discuss about a bit different stuff. What will happen if, for instance, I will comment this definition, right? Or where this variable where it was defined, right? So in this case, as you remember, the value of this variable was equal to another local, but now this defining was deleted, right? So what happened in this case? The program going up, and the program or the JavaScript will try to find the actual whether this variable was defined, right, and the value was assigned to this variable. And the closest one, if you go up, it's over here, right? So, and that's why the value of this variable and essentially is going to be the same variable as this one. So both of these variables, they're going to have the same value, which is local. Let's run it and see if it's the case. So you can see local, local, global. So local, and now another local, which is over here, right? The line here. So essentially this variable, it also has the same value as I mentioned before, right? Which is pretty cool, right? But you know, the most important thing from this information to understand that be careful with deleting stuff, right? Essentially, if you have variables with the same names, and if you would like to assign to these variables different values, be careful and try to avoid this kind of problem as a missing definition, right, of variables. Otherwise, the value of the variable above will be assigned or propagated to variables with the same names below. It's really dangerous game, guys. Like, be careful with that. So, and the same thing essentially if we delete this definition. In this case, like for instance, this variable, the program goes up and nothing defined here too, right? In the subspace above. Then it's going to line 2 where the actual variable was defined as a global one, right? And essentially all the variables, all these variables below below this variable, they're going to have, or they're going to adopt or take the same value at the value of this variable, which is global. Essentially, the value of all this variable going to be global. Let's run it and just try to be sure that it's correct. So you can see, guys, all of these variables now, they have the same values, which is global. Really interesting, guys. So obviously this topic is not the most complicated one, but this topic quite confusing, right? And I know in the matter of fact that it is confusing for many developers. So I just would like to stress out, guys, try to understand it, that like scopes, they're really like, it's a really important topic in JavaScript, and you have to stay careful, you have to be careful in order to avoid this kind of issues. Otherwise you can miss pieces of data, pieces of really essential information, and it's not funny, guys. When you miss it, like when you work on a daily basis, it can be really dangerous. Trust me on this one. So I guess, guys, pretty much it that I wanted to cover in this, in this tutorial. Stay tuned, guys, and please subscribe if you like my videos. Please like this video if you like it, and let me know, guys, what you think. If you would like me to make more tutorials related to this topic, I'm pretty sure that in the future I'm going to make a couple of more videos related to scope, because this topic, we have to pay attention to this topic, guys, as a software developers. Anyway, thank you, guys. I really appreciate for that you're watching, and goodbye.